the heart of Siberia lies a land of extremes, Yakutia. It's a place where winter isn't just a season, it's a battle for survival. Temperatures here can plummet to a bone-chilling -71 degrees Celsius, a cold so profound it can freeze your breath in midair. For most, this is an uninhabitable wasteland. But for an 80-year-old widow named Anya, this frozen expanse is home. She lives a solitary life, her days dictated by the ancient rhythms of the Arctic. But one fateful day, the unforgiving nature of Yakutia would test her resilience like never before. This is a story of survival, of a fierce will to live against impossible odds. Anya woke to a world swallowed by white. A monstrous blizzard had descended upon her small, isolated cabin, erasing the horizon, and burying the landscape under a thick, suffocating blanket of snow. The wind howled like a starving wolf, rattling the wooden walls of her tiny sanctuary. She knew this storm was different. It carried a primal fury, a raw, untamed power that seemed to want to tear her world apart. Stepping outside was a death sentence, but staying inside wasn't a guarantee of safety either. Her firewood was dwindling, and the relentless cold was seeping through every crack and crevice. Wrapped in layers of worn fur, she braced herself against the gale, her face a mask of grim determination. The storm was just the beginning of her ordeal. Far more immediate and far more terrifying threat was lurking just beyond the blinding wall of snow. Suddenly, a sound cut through the blizzard's roar, a low, guttural growl that vibrated through the floorboards. Anya's blood ran cold. She knew that sound. It was the sound of the Arctic's apex predator, the great white bear. It's a massive polar bear, driven by hunger and the fury of the storm, had found her isolated cabin. It slammed its immense body against the door, the wood groaning in protest. Splinters flew inward. Panic gave way to a surge of adrenaline. This was her home, her life, and she would not surrender it. She grabbed the heaviest, sharpest tool she could find, an old, trusty ice axe that had belonged to her late husband. The door shuddered again, the latch beginning to splinter. There was nowhere to run. The fight was coming to her. With a final, deafening crash, the door burst open. A blast of wind and snow exploded into the cabin, and framed in the doorway was a nightmare of fur and teeth. The polar bear stood on its hind legs, its black eyes fixed on her. It was a terrifying spectacle of raw power, a mountain of muscle and rage. Time seemed to slow down. In that moment, Anya wasn't an 8-year-old widow. She was a warrior defending her territory. As the bear lunged, she sidestepped with an agility born of desperation, swinging the ice axe with all her might. She wasn't aiming to kill, just to survive, to create an opening, to push it back. The axe glanced off the bear's thick shoulder, enraging it further. It swiped a colossal paw, claws extended, catching her arm and sending a jolt of searing pain through her body. She stumbled back, her warm blood staining the snow-dusted floor. The bear roared, a sound of pure fury, and lunged again.
Anya
Knew she had only one chance. The fire in her hearth was her only other weapon. With the bear closing in, she grabbed a burning log from the fireplace. The heat was intense, but her fear was greater. As the bear opened its jaws to deliver a final crushing bite, she thrust the flaming brand directly into its face. There was a horrific scream of pain, not from her, but from the beast. It recoiled violently, shaking its massive head, momentarily blinded and confused by the fire and smoke. That was her moment. The bear, disoriented and in agony, stumbled back out through the broken doorway and disappeared into the swirling chaos of the blizzard. Anya slammed the shattered remains of her door shut, barricading it with a heavy table. She collapsed to the floor, shaking, bleeding, but alive. The storm raged for 2 more days. Anya, injured and exhausted, tended to her wounds using old folk remedies passed down through generations. She rationed her remaining food and huddled by the fire, listening to the relentless wind, half expecting the bear to return.
Ow.
The cold was a constant enemy, seeping into her bones, but the fire in her heart burned hotter. She had faced the worst the Arctic could throw at her, a killer storm, and a hungry predator, and she had won. Her body ached, her home was damaged, but her spirit was unbroken. She had proven that even in the most brutal environment on Earth, the will to live is the most powerful force of all. When the storm finally broke, the sun cast a brilliant, almost blinding light on the pristine, transformed landscape. The world was silent, peaceful. For Anya, it was the dawn of a new day. She stepped out of her battered cabin, not as a victim, but as a survivor. The vast white wilderness stretched out before her, no longer a threat, but a testament to her own strength. Her story is a stark reminder of the incredible resilience of the human spirit. It's a tale of courage etched into the frozen landscape of Yakutia, a story of an 80-year-old woman who looked into the eyes of death and refused to blink. She embodies the raw, untamable spirit of the North, a quiet hero in a land of ice and fire. What do you think you would do in this situation? Could you survive? The line between life and death in places like Yakutia is razor thin. It takes more than just skill. It takes an unbreakable will. Anya's story is a powerful example of that. It makes you wonder about the hidden strengths we all possess, waiting for a moment of crisis to be unleashed. Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of survival. If you were captivated by Anya's story, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more tales of human endurance against the odds. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Stay curious and stay safe.